So, hi everybody. Hi. Yeah, it's working. Uh, hi everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Monica Rizzoli, and I am an artist and programmer. And I've been working with fine arts and digital arts for the past 14 years, and recently have dived into the NFT world. So last year, everybody heard about NFTs, right? We are here today to talk about NFTs. And a lot of people have been asking me how I ended up creating NFT art. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit of that story. So I came from a family of artists, graphic designers, and painters. My mom's father has a graphic designer, that's the logo of the graphic shop, who worked with typography. And I grew up in this environment, and very early on I started experimenting with painting and graphic design. I went to college in Brazil, in São Paulo, to study fine arts. There I started my career as an artist, focused on painting and drawing. So, yeah, this painting you see, I used a very classic technique of acrylic on canvas. I created in 2012, 10 years ago. And I was very, very interested in, and still am, in landscaping nature. As you can see in the painting, I was trying to explore this language of repeating visual organic patterns. Those other pieces are also from the same period. I had the same drive there that I had then, of pursuing my visual language with repetition, form, that's present through my work until now. So, but then in 2012, I went to Germany to study drawing, and I ended up participating in a creative residency program in China. This work you see on the screen is a site-specific drawing. I created this piece in loco. It was in Hangzhou, and it's called the Untitled Spaces. During the time I was there was a lot of reconstructions around the city, and I was very interested in how the region was a kind of fragmented because of this cycle of construction and reconstruction. Therefore, the drawings on the buildings are fragmented. So, and since then, I also keep many personal notebooks in which I have been drawing visual patterns, then I observe in different places I visit. That was my start. In the same year, in 2012, still in Germany, when I was studying drawing at Hochschule Kassel, I wanted to draw landscapes that changed over time, where things happened unpredictable and without simple repetition. First, I thought about making animations, but then I discovered processing. This opened up a new world of art which fascinated me. I started studying the programming language on my own and discovered amazing artists around the world that were using software as an artistic means of expression for decades. And programming was exactly what I needed to create the drawings and landscapes I envisioned. A big source of inspiration for me was Valdemar Cordeiro, a Brazilian artist, who in the late 60s experimented with computer to create art. This piece, Derivadas de uma Imagem, they used the photography and reproduced it digitally in a manner for reducing its resolution in each reproduction. They were playing with the concept that the computer always replicates everything perfectly. In their piece, it doesn't. Decades ago, artists were using code and software to express themselves. I was really, very, really intrigued. I was like, wow. So I went back to São Paulo, and I discovered Garoa Hacker Club. It was a very important place for me. These clubs, where people get together, people who are interested in technology and creativity, to share and to create a community. I became a regular participant of this club, and alongside my good friend Alexandre Vilares, I started in 2016 an event called Processing Nights. It was an evening dedicated to sharing knowledge about this programming language, and it's still going on. And then, of course, I became more and more interested in creating art with processing, and that's how I started seeing myself as an artist programmer. Artist programmers are artists who use code and programming languages as a mean for creating art, just like painters use brushes, canvas, and paint. Processing became my #1 tool for creating art, but I was still inspired and had in my repertoire the techniques that I have been using before. So, this is an installation from 2015. I created during a residency at Mack Center for Art and Architecture in Los Angeles, in the US. I lived there for a while and recorded my trip to the grocery store for several months. With this data, I produced and tested many formulas of walkability, and the final output was an installation and a book with 144 possible routes between 2 points, the house and the nearest supermarket. So the self-generating computer simulation is the picture on the left, and it was always changing in different ways. There was like the nights, the hurricanes, the rain, and other things that happen along the time. And then in 2017, I was invited to create the cover for Amarelo magazine, a very prestigious art magazine in Brazil. And I created a program that produced drawings dynamically, and the editor of the magazine could just play around and export the images as if he was playing a game. And the results were different urban landscapes of São Paulo. The edition of the magazine was printed with more than one cover. So it was nice. After, in 2018, I created in partnership with Tony DeMarco a software for composing covers using an exclusive dingbat font that we drew together. We made 400 different covers. We printed using a variable data technique. We won 3 awards with this project. So it was a real challenge at that time in Brazil to do this magazine. So also in this year, in 2018, I created an installation that sought to create interaction between handman and the real world. And this project was exhibited twice. The first installation, I used a software program that worked as an image filter in which a person could put themselves in a square in São Paulo. This is Sé. It's a really important place in São Paulo. And once inside this digital environment, the visitor could play with, turn on and off lights, create rains, thunderstorms, as you can see in this side. In the second installation, in partnership with Natalia Calamari and Rodrigo Mafra, the visitors could take the images of them in the environment, and the images were engraved with a laser cutter in real time and placed on a mural, becoming part of the indoors landscapes. The name of these installations were Bodies Are Landscapes. So, and finally, in my recent production, I tried to associate drawing in various types of algorithms. I draw by looking at nature, and I try to reveal traditional ways of representing and cataloging nature, associated with contemporary forms of representation that are only possible using digital tools. This is fragments of an infinite field, NFTs that were displayed and sold during an action on Art Blocks last year. A very interesting technological aspect of this series is that the code that creates the art is embedded in the NFTs. For each one of these 1,024 pieces that were auctioned, the software produced a different image representing 4 seasons. So it is interesting morphology lead me to explore always the intrinsic shapes of natures and growth processes. These interests often leads me to animated visual patterns, whose loops I try to resemble the rapport of a fabric, infinitely chained over time. So this is an NFT series called Tropical Garden, and it explored the relationship between Brazilian flora and geometry. On the right side, this one, Serigala Rebellion, is my first NFT minted with my own contract, with my own smart contract. In order to produce this NFT, I studied Solidity language, dedicating time to learn how to do. This gave me a deeper understanding of NFTs as a means to express myself as an artist. So here we have Raining Cerrado. It's a series of 4 animations above the movement of flowers during the rain. In Cerrado, Cerrado is a vast tropical savanna ecoregion in Brazil. And I had the pleasure to produce this piece in partnership with the percussionist Lan Lan and DJ Jiplik. The sound is amazing. You should check it later. And in here, for instance, I used the wave function collapse algorithm to create the background, pixel manipulation for rain and flower movement. On flower veins, I used a 2D spatial colonization function. So it wasn't generative, but I was using a lot of algorithms to create this. Okay. So, yeah, that's it. I worked a lot. But no. Don't, please. So I would say after working a lot last year during Fragments of Infinite Field Action, my work became widely known. I spent the last 14 years creating art and developing my visual language in order to express myself as an artist. And really, I feel extremely honored to be able to show my work to so many people in the world and to be here today talking about art and NFTs and telling you my story. For artists like me, who have challenged the traditional art status quo and dare to use computers and digital techniques to produce fine arts, NFTs represent themselves in the past couple of years as a natural development of what we were doing before. And when we think about the commercial aspect of digital art, the online galleries and NFTs did disrupt the way fine arts were sold before. We are still in the very beginning of the development of this technology and still learning about it. A lot can change in the next coming years, and I'm very excited to see how things will progress. And I'm also flattered that fragments are now part of the most relevant NFTs collections. So now I'm very interested in exploring the intrinsic possibilities of NFTs as an art form. Is it possible, the NFT being an art form? And to push the limits of what we can do with them. There is a philosopher that was quite important for the understanding of photography. And he used to say that the role of the artist in creating art with tools like photography camera is to disrupt the correct functioning of the equipment. So I'm personally interested in the technical and economical mechanisms of NFTs, related to digital morphogenesis, generative organisms, and evolution. What can be done from an artistic point of view with these concepts? So my next series is still in the works, and I'm looking forward to sharing it very soon. So thank you very much. And well, if you want to talk more, please feel free to reach me out.